Welcome to Tokyosaurus. So what's up in Japan? Alright, so the new Death Note sequel one-shot has been out for a couple of days, and I'm sure a ton of us has already had the chance to read and digest it. It's quite long at 88 pages, definitely enough material to be made into an OVA, or even a movie if they stretch it out a little bit. And the general consensus everywhere seems to be that it was quite good and very satisfying as a standalone Death Note story, or at the very least, much better than the one-shot they released back in 2008. At first, many people were just fixated on Nier and New Kira's hairstyles. Everyone thought grown-up Nier looks like Kurotopi from Hunter x Hunter, while New Kira's hairstyle was very Korean. I mean, New Kira's hairstyle was so straight up fire that even after the 2-year time skip, he was still rocking the exact same cut. But even more interesting is that some people started comparing our new Kira versus our OG Kira, Minoru versus Light. So let's take a look at our two Kiras and you tell me at the end who you think is best Kira. We're definitely going to spoilers, so you have been warned. So in the timeline of things, the story begins years after the events of the original Death Note, and is pretty much happening in our current timeline as many of you will quickly recognize. After Ryuk meets Minoru, we quickly learn that Light has become a figure of historic proportions, appearing in Minoru's textbooks on the topics of ethics and history. He's portrayed as an evil mass murderer in school, but there are still many that treat him as a god. So something that immediately separates the old and the new Kira is what they wanted to use the Death Note for. Same tool, but they utilized it very differently, and for very different goals. Kira was on a mission to fulfill his ideals, twisted it may have been, but the man had a plan that was to be executed over a long period of time. Whereas our new Kira was going all in for a one-and-done deal. New Kira understands that in this modern world, old Kira's methods won't really work, and it's much easier to track a person's actions today than it was when old Kira was active. So he designed a master plan pretty much on the spot right when he met Ryuk that would be carried out 2 years after. Maybe so that he would be old enough to open a bank account, or just to see if Ryuk would keep his word. Either way, it's established early on that he's got a high IQ even if his grades are bad. And later on, as we find out, he executed a perfectly planned method of using the Death Note without killing a single person, without anyone finding out that he was the one who done it, made Nier admit total defeat, while benefiting the society as a whole if we don't take into account the amount of inflation that would have affected the economy. The dude was a genius, just like Light was. But you've got to admit, executing a one-and-done plan and making that untraceable was probably a little easier than what Light was doing, which was a constantly running machine that had lots of moving parts. And to be honest, we didn't even get to see grown-up Nier in action to challenge our new Kira. He kinda just gave up and admitted defeat before anything really happened. So our new Kira didn't really get tested the way Light did against the likes of L and Nier. And to answer those of you still wondering about page 51, no, Nier is not a girl now. He's just wearing baggy clothes. Continuing on, if you really think about it, Nier was the one to beat OG Kira, though with a lot of outside help. He was the one at the end to do it. And even him, all grown up with more experience, could do nothing against this new Kira. Now, there are people who say that because of the way new Kira died, they could easily find out that Minoru was a Kira, as long as Nier somehow find out from the president the new rule that the person who sells the Death Note would die. Nier would probably not stand idle with the Death Note in the hands of the new president, but even if that was going to be the case, New Kira's defeat will still be in the hands of the Shinigami rather than Nier himself. So technically, New Kira did give Nier his first loss. I mean, if you really think about it, New Kira was so OP, he needed the Shinigami King to make a new world to nerf him. So on one side, you got a genius that made almost everyone in the country not have to worry about money for the rest of their lives. Beat Nier, made Shinigami King stealth patch the Death Note to nerf him. And on the other side, we got a psycho murderer genius that has a god complex, beat the original L and gave us the most epic chip eating scene of all time. So that is it. Which one do you think is the better Kira? Also, did the Death Note one-shot live up to your expectations? As usual, let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, thumbs up the video, subscribe for more What's Up in Japan, and I'll see you guys in the next one.